Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. Today I've got a video for you on this type of stuff. Alright, let's get going here. Fakes, fakes, and more fakes. And the fakes are getting better, which is unfortunate. The first thing that I noticed, by the way, is the sound. So now some of you can't detect this noise. This is the sound of real money. This is the sound of fake money. It has this very tinny sound. Silver has a very different sound to it. That's thing one. All right. Thing two, we're not even looking closely yet though, is sometimes these guys are magnetic, sometimes they are not. But it just depends on when they were manufactured. Some of the newer coins that they're producing out of China do not have any magnetism to them, or it's so minor that you can't really tell without doing it standing, and you can feel the tension just barely. But some of the older ones, you put the magnet to it and it just pops. It just hits you in the face. So let's take a closer look, because those are the one, two, three. Let's go to the third quick thing and then we'll look at them. The third quick thing, of course, is if you have a scale and you can take an original coin in 26.7 grams and see how they're doing nowadays with these guys. This is 25 grams. This is 24.8. And so you'll see a lot of this type of stuff. And that one is also 25. I've got another box full of stuff to look at here. This one's only 23. This is funny because this guy here actually looks, you can feel a little bit, this guy actually looks almost like some of the Daniel Carr coins, the way those ones look. So a customer of mine, he ordered these out of, just like you would see them. I mean, you see them out of, on eBay and on websites. You know, you'll see them on Amazon, and it's just crappy. All this stuff that's out there. I will say that a lot of this is, if you're very experienced, it probably won't fool you. For example, you know, this looks like it was just punched in there. This is very hokey compared to what a real one looks like. This is also not the right size of a coin. In other words, it's almost identical in size to a Morgan, and it would be a little bit larger than that. So the size is wrong on that coin. But a lot of what you're seeing here, well, by the way, I just mentioned, if you're not used to these, then you don't know what they're supposed to look like. This could fool a lot of people, and so that's one of the reasons why we'll look at them. I don't consider these to be very good fakes, but they're good enough to fool the common guy who's not experienced. So one of the key things almost always are the dates, and the dates almost always look wonky, and that is the technical term for when the lettering looks really kind of cartoonish. It's just wonky. And you know, where it gets trickier for most people is when you start getting into you know, some of the more modern silver dollars. And visually, I mean, if these two coins are just kind of mixed in a group, you might not notice, because one of the things that's very different on some of the modern counterfeits is the luster almost looks correct. So very different from some of these where they're just kind of very shallow and bright. They're pretty, you know, they're pretty cool looking, but you know, to me they're very obvious fakes based on just their overall strike quality. But some of them, you know, this looks a lot more real, and once again the sound test, kind of tinny sounding. And of course that may not translate at all to the audio here. We'll see what happens. The third side of the coin, the edge of the coin, the reading on these modern pieces are almost always very sharp by comparison, like if you feel it with your finger. There's a sharpness to them, to the way they're manufactured in general. And they're getting better. This almost looks pretty good. So on this, the lettering and stuff is pretty good quality. But then again, once again, you see how the reading comes up to the rim? Like, that's not a normal thing on a peace dollar. The reading is on the edge where it belongs and not coming up on the rim. Also, your surface quality is always very different on these counterfeits. I mean, it's just hard to explain exactly, other than to look at a bunch of coins and understand just that the surfaces look and feel different on the coin. The strike quality also is something that is there. Some of that's just in the design, but you can tell that, once again, for the average person, the soft features on these counterfeits wouldn't be enough for them to really notice the difference. So it's a little bit scary out there for the novice collector. What's interesting to me, though, is what I'm starting to see, and I hadn't really seen before, are some of these counterfeits on smaller US coins. You know, also a coin that would probably trick a lot of people, and you can just order these out of China. And so the big worry on stuff like this is, if you take a coin like this and you put it in a fake holder, then that'll fool even more people, because it's harder to test and tell whether or not the coin is legit. Let me see if this is magnetic or not. So I can feel it, but you can't. But if you watch carefully, it is being pulled to the magnet. So if it's in a holder, you really couldn't do that test, because the coin doesn't get close enough. I had not seen those. I had not seen these mercury dimes. Once again, everything about the coin is just a little off if you look at a lot of coins. But to the novice, it would be a very hard to detect a coin like that. And then you get one that looks circulated, and that might be even harder for the person to detect. Although, once again, to the experienced person, you can just kind of see that everything is just a little bit off. But to the novice, this is an easy thing to fall for. So anyway, I want to just show you guys some of this stuff that literally you can just order by the bag off the internet. And it's out there in, of course, massive quantities. The companies that sell them originally, you know, they're selling them mostly as novelties. But then once they get over in America, then what's happening, right? Someone's going to sell them as real coins. And that's the difficulty that we're faced with right now in the marketplace. So there's lots to learn, and keep educating yourself. This video does not really replace the opportunity to hold these coins in your hand. I'd encourage anyone who has a coin shop, go ahead and make sure you have these in your shop so that you can let people hold them and see them and feel them, so they get a feel for what's out there and just what the fakes look like. We have a whole bunch of these that we hold on to at the shop, so we can show people and they can learn. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I've been the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.